It's actually a little bit funny. I was drawing a bunch of mermaids leading up to May, and then as soon as May hit, nothing. No mermaids. I had all these grand ideas, but hey, I get to keep them and maybe use them later. But for now, we're going to do something a little bit simpler, and I thought we could do a character design challenge, mermaid edition. So let's jump in the sketchbook, pull out some pencils, grab some markers, and let's have a lot of fun. I think I will jump here. Still got a little blob, but we can work with that. So for character design, I want to give the character a fun color scheme. So we're going to be using markers, which means I need to use a colorized pencil for sketching. Trying not to forget that, which is why I'm saying it out loud, because I don't actually see one in my vicinity. Ew, what? Oh, this is part of a unicorn eraser. Oh, here it is. He's bald. So random. Let me know if you remember the video where this first made its appearance. I never use them because they're pretty, but they do end up in your little eraser bin and they get beat up anyway, so I should use them. The other thing I need is just a pencil to write some things down. My brainstorming process revolves a lot around words, and so I like to just write down words. So I know it's gonna be a mermaid. Plump. I'm just gonna start writing down words in my head lately. It's been flowers. That makes me kind of think of starfish. Seahorse, like folk art and stuff, like those like repeating patterns. I also really want to do like a non-generic skin tone, like blue, she says questioningly. I drew a mermaid. Here, I'll just show you. No peeking. I really liked the way this hairstyle turned out with it like kind of swooping back. It just feels more realistic for a mermaid. Like if her head came out of the water, the hair would just kind of fall that way. So essentially like draw her this way and the hair kind of come this way. But then, I gotta figure out what that'll look like underwater. And I'm probably going to be drawing her underwater because I really want to draw flowy swishiness. Swishiness. I'm getting distracted and I'm not using the colorized pencil. Stop it. I can't. Stop. What are you doing? Stop it. Stop. Okay. But hair like this, essentially. Can you tell that I like drawing mermaids? We're gonna have so much fun. Oh, I haven't stopped. Oh my gosh. Oh, and do we want to do ears? Ears. Do we want to do like the mermaidy, pointy, more fey-like ears? Those like fins that kind of come out of the hips. Hip fins. But they're kind of like getting to draw dresses, but on a fish. This looks like she's kind of leaning on something. And then you have kind of the same texture for the hip fins. Would end up on the fin fins. However you chose to do that. Or something along those lines. Oh my gosh, I'm still doing it. Everything's fine. I just can't color this because I drew it with a rather soft graphite, which I love to use, but it's not too reflective. So this was my last like mermaid OC. And you can see I tried to do something a little bit original in the bodice area by just adding a ton of little flowers, and then that element kind of is also used for the hair. You know, so for the blubfish, we can't forget blub. I like really bold color schemes for mermaids. I don't know why, but essentially, yeah, I don't want to do just the two shells, you know? I want to do something different, and this feels no different. What? So for this region, gotta figure something out. Now, something else that's like really heavy on my mind lately has been just hobbits. So I'm gonna write that down because I'm sure it is going to blend into this in some manner of speaking. I'm struggling to talk. I've been so tired lately. I'm getting so distracted. What am I doing? I think that's a Pokemon. Let us switch to something we could put markers on. Whatnot. Oh, she could be a horse girl. That'd be kind of fun. Should probably grab my iPad and look at some references, but we're gonna just play around a little bit longer before I do that. Kind of see what I'm actually thinking before I go looking for help, you know? Because if I have an idea of what I want, then I can just look for little ways to tweak it to better represent what I want rather than go looking for references and then end up with something different. So let's start really small for like a thumbnail, and we'll give this nice swishy line. She's a mermaid, and we're gonna block in some shapes for our foundation. We can move things around, turn the head if we need. Oh wait, I keep forgetting the ears are going. I want the ears to be pointy. Longish hair. Got a shoulder here. All right, and then I need to figure out what kind of bra do we want here. Now, if I go like a hobbity, it would kind of be this shape, and then we can maybe figure out what it's made out of. Even give it a little peplum. This doesn't feel very mermaidy, but you gotta give it a shot. Ooh, what if there's... what if her blouse is made out of bubbles? Wait, I love this. Because then it could have like that rainbow reflection. I have no idea how to color that, but that's where a reference would come in handy. Little bubbles. Now I want her hair to be like really curly though if we go hobbit, you know? And she could have starfish buttons. Or seashell buttons. Those little tiny seashells that wash up. I don't want to erase the whole thing. I'm just kind of going it lighter so I can go over top with a little more action. Oh, but I was also thinking blue hair. I don't know if blue hair is going to fit this vibe because I feel like hobbits are a little bit more natural. Curly hair. Okay, I'm going to... I kind of want to just throw some colors on here and see if I'm heading in the right direction. Oh, what if these were the fin? Because I don't think I'm going to be able to do my blue skin with this, but we could try. Fill in the skin area. And that could be really fun with the bubbles. And do I just do blue fin as well? Because if I can't do blue, then I might not want to go like the hobbity route, you know? Ooh, we could even go like a red gray. I'm thinking for cheeks. And I would love like some kind of gradient. And we can use it for texture as well, like little scales. Yes, it's definitely not giving the natural hobbit vibe that was inspiring me. But it could become its own thing. You never know. Oh, wait, that's... I don't know why I'm whispering. Definitely giving like fairy. We could just go a little bit more princessy, but we could be like a seafloor gardener. I don't know. And then I want it to have like rainbow reflections. But I think I'm gonna draw it bigger for that. But just for the idea, this color is called Icy Periwinkle. And it's just speaking to me. I don't know what it actually looks like. Ooh, it's a purpley. This could work for the cheeks maybe. Yes. Use it down here. I'd love the ears to be this as well. So this noise is driving me nuts. Get out of here. Then we need a color for this. I like it in white, to be honest, but I'm thinking I want it to be kind of dark. Ooh, what if we go saturated blue? I'm doing it. Sometimes I'm super cautious, and then sometimes I forget to be cautious when I should be. I don't know what to do with this like peplumy thing. It was supposed to be made out of the same material, like that. And then, ooh, we could take one of my acrylic paint markers. And if I have a light blue, we could use these for our little seashell buttons. Oh, this one's too green. I think I like the stars. All right, here's our little first thumbnail. I like her. She's cute. She's got the blue I wanted, but I'm not sure it's working with the hobbit. I'm going to draw a little bit bigger. Actually, scratch that. I'm going to draw the same size and focus on proportions and see if we can have some exaggerating shapes so that her silhouette is a bit more meaningful or readable, legible. So we want to like keep switching between like shape sizes. So you know how like a head, well, people's heads and necks are usually about the same width, but when I'm drawing them, I like to do a big head, a little neck, and then you have the shoulders, and that creates contrast in the sizes of these squares. So you have like a medium-sized square, teeny tiny square, and then a bigger square, and then that's contrast, and so it's like really easy to read. So I kind of want to do the same thing with the entire design, and we'll see if that works. So like for the hair, we might want to come in towards the ears, so the ears become a big element. And then this. So now if we have the hair doing that, we might not want big bubble sleeves because it kind of blends in. We might want something slimmer that could bubble at the bottom. I actually like the shape of this, even if it doesn't read mermaid to me at all. It might be something I need to just save on the back burner for something else. I definitely want the bubble sleeves. I'm going to straight up write that down because that idea makes me so excited. So we have to do it. I want to like look up bubbles and see what the colors look like and the way they like reflect, and that gets my little heart pumping. I don't think the ears need to be quite as important. I think they can just kind of poke out wherever they end up poking out. I don't think I want them to be a super focal point. I wonder if there's a way to go a little bit closer to the mermaid, like a more standard mermaid. I feel like this is going too far. Let me draw a more regular mermaid and start adding some of these elements to it and see that does. We got some space here, so I'm gonna think real swooshy thoughts and kind of structural shapes rather than just blobs. Like, think of everything as a cylinder. That's how my brain does it. And the first pass, it doesn't need to be perfect. You're just trying to figure out where everything's gonna go, and then from there you kind of chisel away at it like a sculptor. So now I have kind of like more of a base. I can go over top it again and make it even better. I'm gonna turn the head completely and raise this shoulder. And again, think of it kind of as a cylinder for the chest, and this is the rib cage. Running out of space here, but it would kind of come this way. I know some people subscribe to different anatomy of mermaids and like what the tail looks like. Like, does it have a knee? Does it bend at the knee? Like, is it kind of just like human legs but with a tail over top? Or is it more like the back of a fish with swooshy? That really is, I guess, up to the interpretation of whoever's drawing it. I tend to just jump around to whatever feels right. I find if the tail's a little too swishy, it gives more of an eel than a fish. And that's not my preference. Figure out where all the faces. All right. So now I feel like we have a little bit better structure to work with here. And we can start refining different elements as we see fit. Like if I'm doing Hobbit, I'm gonna want like yellows and reds and greens. Probably throwing some arms in here. Where, I'm not entirely sure. I didn't leave a lot of space for that. Ooh, do we want to make it a little more mischievous? I can pull the eyebrows down. Hey, come on, sailors. I like to think of them like floating. So like the body parts are kind of like swishing around a little bit. You know, when you're like floating in the water. So folk art could fit into this really easily with a little like embroidery. But how does that work underwater? How does anything work underwater? I don't know. I don't live there. I like this funny face though. Put in that hair. Alright, now we find ourselves back at the point where I need to figure out what I want her clothes to look like. And do we want these finnies? Oh, look how fun. See, look how fun that swoosh is. Woo! Distracting myself with every other part of the drawing. But what needs the most attention? It does look very elf compared to Hobbit. Maybe that's what's tricking my brain here too. It's like elf, Hobbit. Ooh, my brain's going a million miles an hour even if my hands aren't doing anything. What if it comes like here? It's got kind of a drop sleeve. Then we add the bubble. Even add like a second, those little bubbles that stick to bubbles. I don't know. See, I don't like it. It doesn't feel mermaidy to me. Let's try some different shapes. Like some more pointy edges. Ooh, what might be fun is if it doesn't actually go to the shoulders. Kind of just floats there, more fairy-like. But then what is that made out of? Am I like thinking about this too hard? I am trying to reinvent the wheel when it really doesn't need to be reinvented. See, this though I think will look really nice with the blue. Like if I repeat this color scheme, I think you'll see what I mean about how it just kind of fits together better. How like the cool blues don't really match the vibe of like Hobbit. I also should have erased some of this pink. Also, why is blue in my head? Because blue's not even the color of fish. I mean, I guess Dory's blue. Let me put my cardboard behind this. See, this is kind of working. And you see how it's working pretty well. Maybe we just add some like orange, something warm. Also, this is looking a lot like an OC. I just remembered that's purple. Literally has these ears. Literally might have that hair. And definitely has these like triangle thingies. Tried to be new and different and ended up doing something almost exactly the same. Oh, that's funny. Oh, golly. She was supposed to be like queen of the blobfish. Maybe this is her sister. Blending that out. I actually don't want to use that blue for this. I actually think that's more blue. All right, we'll go over it with this, see what happens. Definitely needs more of that blue someplace else. Somewhere we could put it actually is on this fin. Pull upwards on it. Also do the eyeballs. I'm gonna just do some kind of abstract, I don't know, fish texture. Kind of makes the arms look weirdly long. I mean, it would be fun to use some other colors. I did say yellow. What if we add some yellow? I don't want to add yellow marker because it'll blend in and make green. But what if we use like a yellow paint pen? Oh, this is giving it a little bit more dory. I could put a big yellow spot. Does she have a yellow spot? I always forget the name of that fish. Why is banana? Why is the word banana in my head? It's not a banana fish. So that yellow has some place to actually like sit. Much less white. Let's just add a little liner to the face and see what happens there. This feels too big. Not sure why I always start with the eyes when I always mess up the first thing I do. Ooh, I was literally holding my breath the whole time. But it turned out nice. There's a nice little face right there. Hey, I like it a little better now. I don't know if it's because it's a little more refined. Be a little bit of a highlight. Should we do a little nose highlight? Boop. Let me just finish this liner and I'll be right back. This hand, we won't. You can't see it. It's in a crease. I really like the face, but my brain is really in a land of greens and pinks and yellows. So I think we need to go a little bit where I would rather be. If I go the route of the pinks and the greens, it kind of doesn't leave room for the bubble sleeves still. And I do want that. Ooh, I guess I'm going to have to compromise with myself and figure out what I want. If I think of like a cartoon fish, it uses like reds and greens and grays maybe. Let's just draw a little guy, so I don't have to spend so much time on the anatomy so much as figuring out the color and the design. What if I get rid of the pointy ears too? I just literally go against everything I originally wanted. I can see it happening. Wouldn't be the first time. Goodbye, arms. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. So I was thinking, what was I thinking? It's a good question. I should have done a 3-marker character design challenge and then I wouldn't have to think about this. It would just be making it work. But now I got opinions and I got to deal with that. Ugh. Too many decisions need to be made. I kind of just want to abandon this one. I think that's fine. It's a sketchbook. Not everything has to be pretty. It's just not speaking to me. Maybe I should use a pencil. What if? What if? Watch this turn out great. Swoosh. Swooshy swoosh. But then I'm not going to be able to color it. I mean, that's the whole point. I mean, if we're going to be struggling, might as well struggle with the Color Ace pencil. Because then I can add color. Maybe we'll just draw a little bigger. Maybe that'll get my body moving. Big loose shapes. Not trying to be perfect. If you're drawing bad, just try and draw worse and then we'll show that art block. We'll show it. Yeah, baby. You think I draw like garbage? I'll show you garbage. We're just gonna go full Hobbit on this one. Because that's apparently what I want to draw. You think I can get away with the bubbles? All over. She could even wear a little hat. Let's move her hand. Let's give her like a little basket or something. Now for the tail though. They wear like skirts and stuff. And everything's short. There's no way to like make it short. Also, I feel ready to kind of tackle this face a little bit more. Happy, bright, innocent face. Oh, did that trick actually work? Drawing ugly? Is this working? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm not sure how to make a mermaidy though. It's still going full Hobbit, but we'll see if we can pull back. I wasn't able to really then, so we will see. Gotta do flowers and whatnots. Now, will you be able to see the arm through the bubble? I would think so. Bubbles are pretty transparent. We need a hand. But you won't see things through the hand. She's not made of bubble. How can I make this more C-E? C-E? C-E. Could we make it like out of tied together netting? No. I don't think I wrote down enough words. That's the problem. Those are so fun to draw. You know, it might be time. It probably was time about 20 minutes ago, but ooh, I like the way that basket is on the put the basket here. Yeah, I don't know how to do this transition from human to fish, you know? or hobbit to fish. It's definitely where the issues are rising, because it doesn't really make any sense if we're really thinking about it. Bubble, because that's basically just a hobbit on a fish. So if all I change is the sleeves to bubbles, I don't think that's enough. You know what I'm saying? It feels very clunky, chunky, not saturated together. Combined, intertwined, I don't know. Are words gonna help me now? Probably not. It's just not working. It's not working. Just gonna try and start a little bit from scratch. No pressure at all. Not sure what these ears are. These are funny little ears. I feel like neck should be a little longer. We throw some bubble sleeves on here with a more simple. Okay, the bubbles need a different shape, I think. Okay, we got a little sketch-a-rooney. Just go full circle with some bubbles around. Man, you really see anatomy problems when you have this little clothes on. This feels generic, but it's working a lot better. So there's a reason why some things work. I mean, sometimes you shouldn't mess with a good thing. And then I can do my bubble sleeves. Something's feeling a little more cohesive about this. I really want to just paint the bubbles. I'm gonna look up bubbles. Ooh, okay. That's going to be really hard, but this is probably kind of the closest to what my brain was picturing. But that means I need to draw her again. This hasn't been so much character design as much as trying to draw a cohesive design. All right, can we fit her in here? Basically redrawing this one. But we want to be able to add color. So I'm keeping that hairstyle I originally wanted and the bubble sleeves. Where I'm losing most of the other things I wrote down, but it's fine. Let's like elongate the hair a little. I'm gonna just draw the hair so I know where it's at. Okay, this is like the rib cage maybe. Kind of figure out the shape of the fin. We still don't even figure out colors. I feel like one arm could go up. Would be fun. Like she's swimming, you know? Oh, it comes off the page, but it's cute. And then this one can come this way. Kind of, we should turn the ribcage a little bit more to kind of account for the fact that one arm is up. I like the funny scalloped ears, so we'll keep those. This is one of the hardest head angles for me to draw, so this might not be the right day for this, but I'll give it a shot. Now the way I put the arm, we're losing a lot of hair, so I might need to move the hair and a bit more of a role to play. Okay, now we have to actually figure out the character design part, which is the outfit. Let's just grab our kneaded eraser, kind of roll over the body. And then we wanted bubble sleeves. Actually, I think figuring out where these are. These babies are, might be helpful. And then we want our bubbles. Kind of don't want them to be perfect circles, but I guess perfect circle makes a lot of sense. I mean, I'm just here to color these bubbles. I should make like a little test bubble. See if I can even do it. I wouldn't mind if this arm actually went a little bit more like this. Oh yeah, see, I like that way better. I keep grabbing the wrong pencil. Get out of here. But like, what is this part made out of? So like here it looks like shells. Ooh, what if there's like a big shell here, so you get that scalloped edge? What if it's all just made out of shells? Wait a minute. Okay, wait. It looks like a weird little six-pack, but bear with me. Let me see if this works. Kind of looks like a funny face with a mustache. An angry guy with a mustache. We got bubbles, we got this. Maybe we need like, we do have room for these things. So might as well. I never know how to draw them on the side you can't see. This feels very princessy. We definitely like pulled away from some of the original thought ideas. But if we go like, we could do pink skin maybe. And then the bubbles. Okay, what I should do is actually try and draw a bubble though. So if this is our bubble, we'd probably lighten the sketch. So we'll have a white rim around the outside. Then from this reference, we need a little yellow, a little pink, a green, all of like the brightish variety. You kind of just paint around it. Okay, my green looks very yellow. And then technically the background would be like a watercolor, like a color of water. And then on the outside, but leaving room for the white border. Does that look like a bubble? We could add a little bit more white to like the center, like a bloop. And so then essentially if the arm was going through there, you'd see the arm where there's the blue background. Boop, boop, you'd be like, oh, that's a bubble. Ooh, I like that. Bubble with a bunch of rainbow action. And then I could use, well, I could use a lot of rainbowy pastel colors on her. Let's finish drawing her hand, because apparently I didn't do that yet. Gotta put a little blubfish for good luck. Be able to build up the color. I'm thinking like a pastel-y pink skin with a hot pink hair color. I wrote blue skin, but I remember I specifically said a not supernatural hue for this skin tone. And yeah, like I guess you could call me pink, I suppose. Not as crazy as blue, but I wouldn't normally use this color on the average drawing I would make. So still a win in that category. And we can blend this down and use a different color for the tail probably. Ooh, this is kind of fun. Feels very 90s girl toy in the best of ways. Okay. I didn't write these down. 1 second. Sometimes the caps don't match, and so you gotta swatch them all. Pokemon! And the ears. And we should probably be blending that out. I feel like this would be good for these things. Pink carnation. We'll start down here. Is it too brown? I'm still thinking about it. If I squint, I think I like it, so we'll go for it. I like it better when it dries than when I first put it down. When I first put it down, it looks very brown. When I first put it down, it looks a little bit brown. I never know how to do that, like, transition from skin to tail. But that'll have to do, won't it? I love doing this with little blobs. Beep, 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 beep. Do the same thing for this tail. Fin, tail, fin. I don't know. She's losing it. Ooh. Oh, I like that better with the tail as the end piece. So we will do the same thing on this. Ooh, yeah, baby, that looks cute. Tail apparently was too wet when I added in my little blobs because they bled outwards. And it's dry now, so I'm going to try it again and see if these stick the way I want them to. I would like to add a little purple and a little blue, the way like the bubbles are going to have it too. So maybe starting with some little pastels, we can just kind of add in areas that you might not necessarily expect it. But it's like, ooh, she's mysterious. And then we can use these same colors for our bubble. The colors in the same areas, maybe? I need some blue, keeping her on the outside edge. And I'm copying them so that they hopefully look like the light sources are, and the reflections are all coming from the same place. And then we can add a little bit of the skin tone, which was pink, but not fully. I'm just gonna kind of like blob it, sort of patchy. Okay, so we have sort of bubbly vibe. Now if I paint in that background color, you hopefully will pop. Because then you will see the fact that there is a white border around it. And if I need to add the border in for like these little guys, I could be able to do that too. It's really fun using these dark colors. I like almost exclusively have used pastels for so long because the dark colors scare me. But this background sounds like not as intimidating because it doesn't need to look that good. It's supposed to like fade out. These bubbles are looking really cool. The small ones. So essentially this part should be the dark blue and a little bit up here as well. If you want to understand the mood I'm in right now, quite bizarre. This is my favorite part so far, is just filling in this background because I don't have to think. Yeah, that sounds like brain fog to me. Or is that being burnt out? All right, we got the background in. From here, I do think I'm gonna need a white gel pen. If I remember correctly, this King Art one works really nice. At least it did the first time I used it. Oh wow, that worked really well in the little bubbles. Some pearls there. And there's pearls here. I can just add little bubbles as well. And then I do want to add some like more color with the acrylic pen, but you have to wait a second there. Go over that with liner. We didn't figure out this. We could? Ooh, what if we just did that? I don't think I even said what I was thinking. But if I just do the same bubbly colors, but on her shells here, I kind of pretend it's being holographic-y. So kind of add the same reflections and the same angles on all of this. I don't like this color. Why'd I use that? Ew. I meant to use the green one. Ooh, the purple makes a big difference. Nice. Let's add a lot of purple. You see how it kind of looks sort of holographic-y, reflective? Maybe. The gel pen's actually working better than the white acrylic pen, so we'll use that. Oh, I wanted to put something in her hair. That got forgotten. Oopsie. So if I use a colorless blender, which I rarely ever use, could I like blend out and almost lift the centers to be more white? Or is it... Ooh, wait, that looks cool. It's sort of blending all the colors together. Maybe do it in the bubble as well. I like that. I might add a little shine once it dries. And then I'll like it even more, I betcha. I betcha, betcha, betcha. Purple. I don't know if they look like sleeves. I should have maybe changed the shape a little bit. So you understand what I was going for. Add in a little lip without it going too crazy. Wait till the liner before you cast your judgment. It's actually turning out a lot like I was picturing it. I think the only real difference is the tail was not this red. It was more pink. We'll go in with the liner. I want something a little smaller. I feel like that was too big and this drawing's smaller, so I used a 0.5 for that. We'll go at least 0.3. I don't see my 0.3. So the next option is a 0.2. 0.3 used to be my most commonly used. Maybe I lost it. Start with the face. Wish me luck, guys. You don't really see the liner next to the blue. It makes it just the tiniest bit crisper, so it's worth it. Gonna throw a little bit of pink in the eyeballs. Cute. Belly button. Ta-da! There's the top. Probably put a little bit of like a reflection on these puppies. Very nice. Oh, we didn't do the hair. Ta-da! But we got there in the end. They all look like mermaids. I mean, if we're being completely honest, they all have tails made of mer. I really like the way these shells turned out. I think they're lovely. Bubble sleeve review. If I had more time, I would want to make them more sleeve shaped and less perfectly round. I think I was scared they wouldn't look like bubbles. But now that I'm seeing them in practice, I believe I could definitely, they'd have a bubble vibe, even if they were a different shape. And this is one of my new favorite colors. Deep blush. It feels very Hobbit maroon even. Very pretty. Very pretty. I think my brain is like... And I thought sitting down and drawing would help, but apparently it's not. I think it's just a lot going on in my head, but at the same time, nothing at all. And it's just... So we'll be back soon with hopefully a more concrete concept. But for now, I hope you enjoyed. Come with me as we filled another spread in my sketchbook, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Bye. Good luck with Mermaid.